We got to audit life before life audits it for you.
Sneaker influencers caught up in an alleged multi-million-dollar crime ring.
Los Angeles is facing a nearly $1 billion. He's a bonnet babe. He is a bonnet babe.
Berlin Pride Parade called off after car hits crowds.
We got some crimes against humanity that's happening. Hey, we are back. Welcome to another episode of the Night Audit. I'm your host, Chaze Barnes. If it's your first time being here, let me do you the honors and give you a... Yeah, I know I'm in my gym attire or whatnot, so y'all know what day it is. Workout day. Woo! Man, Monday was Monday, man. Monday was... Whoa, let me mute that right quick. Monday was Monday, and Monday was Monday in this, okay? All right, so it's July 27, 2026, and we got a lot to get into today, okay? We got some crimes against humanity that's happening. We got to talk about the David case. That's been some updates in that. We got to talk about the mayor and the LA mayor and the homeless crisis. And then I didn't know I ain't know somebody was ripping off Nike. That was a $2 million shoe theft ring that was happening. What is going on? All right. But first thing first, you all, make sure you subscribe, comment, rate, and review. We drop episodes. I say 5 days a week, but I'll be lying. I do. It's kind of like 6 days because Friday, I record Friday night and it goes into Saturday. So whatever, man. We just figuring out as we go. All right, let me change my banner around. You know what I'm saying? So when y'all watching this, I might be premiering this. This might be a premiere. I might start premiering this. Yeah. All right, we're gonna get right to it. All right. We're gonna go to Berlin. That was
live now from Fox, but we do want to bring you some breaking news right now. This news coming out of Germany, putting this up on your screen, coming from Reuters. Berlin Pride Parade called off after car hits crowds, according to police. We also have this coming in from the police department there in Germany saying, update, we are currently deployed with numerous police forces as well as rescue units from the Berlin Fire Department in the Tiergarten. That's a park there in Germany. It is suspected that a vehicle has driven into the Tiergarten here, has struck and injured several people. The injured are currently being treated by rescue personnel. We are conducting an intensive manhunt for the suspects. This also coming from the police department. Update, shortly before 10 p.m., the driver of a white vehicle is said to have struck several people there in the Tiergarten area. There are numerous injured, including several with life-threatening injuries. The manhunt for one or more suspects is underway at full throttle. More information to follow. Now, the latest update that we have received in our newsroom is that one person is dead, 15 plus are injured. We actually have a live feed coming into our newsroom of that scene there in the Berlin area. And I wanted to go a little bit more in depth and explain to you what all led up to this manhunt that is currently underway and that very active scene that you see on your screen there coming out of Germany. We learned that a car drove into a crowd during Berlin's famed LGBTQ plus parade on Saturday, killing one person and injuring at least 15 others, prompting police to call off that event in the German capital just hours after it had started. The Associated Press goes on to report that police said some of the victims did have life-threatening injuries. Firefighters and ambulances were out with many emergency staffers at the scene to attend to the victims. In a post on X, police called on everybody to leave the premises of that event immediately. According to police, a car had driven into the Tiergarten Park near the route of that Pride March, hitting several people. Police did not know how many officers had been deployed to that scene, but that it was, quote, definitely a lot of police. They said that they were searching for suspects. Once again, we did hear from the Berlin police on their X account saying that manhunt is currently underway. Hundreds of thousands of people had come to Berlin on Saturday to celebrate at Berlin's Pride Parade, known in Germany as Christopher Street Day. This is one of Europe's largest LGBTQ plus celebrations. The Pride event in front of the city's iconic gate in downtown was called off around 10:15 p.m., and the band's performance on stage was interrupted and and people once again urged to go home and avoid taking the route through the park there. Before that incident, people had celebrated peacefully, marching through the city for hours and dancing to loud music and cheering around the 80 floats that participated in that parade. So once again, officials confirming that 1 dead, 15 plus injured, with some of them potentially having life-threatening injuries. Once again, a live look on your screen there at that scene in the Berlin area as the manhunt is currently underway. You can see that white tent set up there to the right-hand corner of your screen with a lot of officials on scene. And it looks like maybe some ambulances or emergency vehicles there towards the center of your screen. So we wanted to be sure to bring this to you here on Live Not from Fox, and we will continue to update you as soon as we get more news into our newsroom. We're going to slide away right now for a quick 2-minute commercial break. Our coverage continuing in moments.
All right. So, I saw this hit my news feed when I was working, right? I was working over the weekend, right? Trying to get some content out, trying to get some stuff out to you all, but not. We definitely had some hiccups here and there, but we're working through it, right? And I was like, dang, And so I have this thing on my show whenever, and this happened even over here in the States when the individuals wanted to decided they want to plot a terror attack on the White House with the UFC 250. I call these types of crimes against humanity. Okay, listen. Now, regardless, because I think they also, at the thing of the recording this video, I think they got the suspect. The suspect was killed. We're going to get into that, right? So first of all, prayers up to the families and the victims of this, right? Even if, especially the one that passed away and even the ones that's injured as well. Okay. That's first and foremost. Okay. I may not necessarily agree with people's certain lifestyle choices, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to rob them of their humanity. I'm going to wish death upon them with their choices. Certainly not. Okay. And the whack job that did this, okay, we gonna get on his ass, okay? We gonna get on him. All right. We gonna get on him. I don't know what's happening. Listen, listen. People should be able to go out because there was an incident happened in Seattle. There was a Seattle festival that happened. 3 people got killed or whatnot. I didn't report on it. I probably end up talking about it on the show later on this week. I probably find it and I'll make sure I get it out. People should be able to go enjoy themselves without ever having to think that something bad's gonna happen to them. Okay. Regardless, whatever your orientation is, right? I mean, on another day, if it's a more lighter story, pass along a few jokes or whatnot. I joke on the Black community, I joke on the white. Listen, everybody get the jokes, whatever, and all that. It's all a good spirit. But now, the guy that did this, this was clearly a terror attack. This was an Islamic guy, dude, bad hombre. And let's see if we can find some more videos. Let's see. Hold on. Let's see. All right. Hold on. Let's see. We're gonna go to CBS here. Let me share my screen with you all. All right. We're gonna have some conversations. Crimes against humanity. I can't stand it. I don't like it. Crimes against humanity. Okay, all right. I'm sharing my screen. You all should be seeing this. So let's go to CBS News and see what's popping. All right. Hold on. What? De-radicalization program. You just hate this stuff, man. I wrote it down. De-radicalization program. I never heard of this. I had to write this down. Let me look this up. What is de-radicalization? I know what it means. I mean, of course, it's obviously you're trying to get somebody to decommit from something, decommit from radicalization. Listen, what is a radical? I better be careful with this because I don't want them to be trying to. Yeah, he was looking at what de-radicalization. I'm just saying I know what we gonna say. De-radicalization. We gonna be like, we understand what de-radicalization. I need them come knocking at my door. We see it. Yeah, check his search history. He was looking up what is the de-radicalization. I was educational purposes. Okay. Listen. All right. So what I have gathered from this guy, okay, the name of this guy is, I guess, he's a 21-year-old Abdul Ballout, the suspect in a deadly van ramming and machete attack during the city's Pride Festival after a nearly 24-hour manhunt. First of all, like, it's a lot of knife attacks over there. Now, I'm not saying they've had some big stuff that went on with people not only just use that, but also use other means to carry out crimes against humanity and whatnot. They should have just locked this man up. They should have just locked him up. They should have not locked him up. I mean, it should have locked him up, excuse me. So what I'm reading here, right? The suspect authorities, like they said, listen, the authorities identified Ballout as a German citizen or Lebanese descent, described as radicalized and part of Berlin's Islamic scene. He had a prior conviction in 2025 for preparing a serious act of subversive violence. Put that in quotation marks. And for violating the Associations Act. What the hell is it now? We gotta look it up. What is the association? Let's write that word down to listen. The Associations Act. What is that? What is that? I don't think it's inappropriate to look up what is a de-radicalization program. I don't think that's. I'm just joking with that. But with a 1 year and 10-month sentence later commuted to parole, prosecutors said he shared ISIS propaganda on Instagram. Lord have mercy. Again, listen. I mean, I guess as long as you don't act on anything, I mean, it already is a red flag already. So he was already a red flag in 2024 and traveled to Lebanon in 2025, intending to join ISIS, but was arrested there. It says Abdul Ballout, a known extremist with prior convictions and ISIS ties, was killed by police after a day-long manhunt following a. Okay, yeah. Lord have mercy. Everybody's under attack. Everybody under attack. I think Seattle was a music. Seattle was a music festival. Something going on, right? Listen, I also be looking at what is Association Act. What is that? What is the Associations Act? Let me look that up. That's all right. Okay, so it's the associations. Oh, this doesn't provide anything. This doesn't. I don't know. It's saying something about legal recognition and limited liability, ability to enter. I don't. That sounds like properties. I don't know. We have to. Let's see. German. Let's see. I don't know. Let's look up that. All right. What is that? Oh, okay. So essentially, what the Act for Regulations of Public Association Law in Germany, known as Act Governing Private Associations or Association Acts, governs the legal status of associates vis-a-vis the state. It specifies constitutional limits imposed on the freedom of association. This is a lot of using the word association a lot in this. It outlines the conditions under which associations may be prohibited or dissolved. The act applies to all association, regardless of their legal form, and provides framework for registration and operation of association in Germany. That's a lot of association here. Association. Well, we know he was guilty by association because he was trying to roll with ISIS. Listen, you on a losing team, man. I'm gonna just say this. Some of these regimes or organizations or government groups or whatever and all that, we should have turned them to a mall parking lot a long time ago. I don't know why, but I don't say the people. I think there's just the people that permeate this stuff. The group that should have just helped them out a long time ago. But nobody should. I mean, go out there and celebrate. Nobody should be having to be fearing because that stuff happened around New Year's. That could potentially happen around New Year's, 4th of July. I'm trying to think of another could perhaps happen on Thanksgiving, Christmas. Just again, crimes against humanity. But this guy, man, listen. I don't know. That man, well, he clearly woke up with violence that day. Missed the ball out, woke up with violence that day. All right. It wasn't for him to be like, go protest it. But man said, hey man, I can't do it. I gotta take out some people that has a different view of life, view, different orientation or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Different view. Gotcha. And see, you got you in trouble. Okay. Like I had something else. I had a joke for him. I said, well, maybe he probably was I don't know, man. Like maybe he had his troubles or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he wasn't telling us something, right? Maybe he was struggling. He probably was with his identity, and he probably was just like, I'm gonna pretend I'm this, but I'm really this. So I'm gonna do this. And that's bad. You know, I'm just that's the sort of small lightheartedness I can probably provide right now. On another day, I think when I go on a little tangent, whatever, and all that, then we'll come back to this and I'll be like, listen, but none of those people deserve to die. I mean, sorry. That one, nobody deserved to get hurt, injured, maimed in that situation at all. It's unfortunate. I mean, I know a lot of, I mean, and I think that was a stabbing that happened over there. That was a stabbing that also took place over there in Paris as well. And I think the individual was yelling I think three women got stabbed, and the individual was yelling, Allah Akbar. And I was just like, okay. So I was gonna, I could find that one, but I had to find that video and just add it into the story for this week or whatnot. But it's crazy, man. Crimes of humanity, man. It's like, yo, if you are tired of life, okay, I get it. Life be lifing, right? One of my scripture I wrote down this week, I think it goes like, it says, suffering like Christ, like a good soldier. I'm sorry, I think suffering just as Christ, like a good, suffering like a good soldier of Christ, Christ Jesus. Okay. Um, and yeah, I mean, you know, again, doesn't mean people can have a alternative lifestyle, and again, but that shouldn't be the reason why they should be taken out. I said the same thing in the Charlie Kirk situation. I said with that, I was just like, my goodness, you ain't got to go out there and like take the man out. You ain't got to go out there and take people out. But people are gonna do what they're gonna do. Some people will. There'll be people that be like, hey, I disagree. We can have court. We can hold court about it. You know what I'm saying? And everybody go home. All right. Everybody keyboard, keyboard gangsters and stuff like that. But there are some ones that say, you know what? This man, he was already pumping himself on Instagram. So he said, you know what? It's not enough for me to do this on Instagram. I got to go fly to the place. And I'm going to go out there, and he got arrested, of course. And then eventually he said, you know what? I had enough. I'm done with life. And I'm just going to do it. I'm going to do it. And you did it. And now you end up on the wrong side of it. Okay. On the wrong side of it. I know they probably like, people probably over there, the people that probably like, oh, he accomplished a mission. He gone. He's gone. Like, why would you wake up? Why would you do that? Mr. Ballout, Mr. Abdul Ballout. Why would you do that? We can't listen. It's just listen. I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I don't know. I tell them, man, you inconvenience. I say the same thing. Why do you try to inconvenience people? They did this on Saturday, right? They had to cancel it or whatever and all that. You inconvenience they Saturday whole weekend gone because you want to go take your vehicle. It wasn't enough to you to take your white van and ram it through people, but you got out with a machete, right? And start terrorizing people. Like, what? Like, come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. But unfortunately, these things happen, and people just don't care. Like, they just have enough of life. They say, you know what? I want to take out as many people I can, and cause mass casualty. They don't love me for it, but guess what, bro? You're not gonna be remembered. They gonna celebrate you for, whatever they do. I mean, and then they gonna move on from it. They gonna find somebody else to do this, they gonna find somebody else to replace you. Listen, life is precious, and you make your life indisposable when you join organizations like this. There's no good healthcare coverage. There's no good healthcare coverage. There's no 401k. Okay. There's no life insurance. Your own life insurance, right? You insure your own life, and your life got the only one, outside of the victim that lost their life. There's no money in, there's no real good pay in it. If they paying you, I don't know. Do they pay y'all? Do they pay these people? Seriously, I just want to know. And then if they do, I'm like, I don't think it's worth the pay. That listen, there got to be that you can't even give me hazard pay. It's just like once you get radicalized, it's like you gotta carry out the event. Now I'm not saying you do, I'm not don't do it, but there's some people that just gotta go do it. Why you gotta go do it? It's the same thing stuff that happened over there in the States. Like, people go here and shoot up the whole damn neighborhood, whatever, and all that. And you're like, what do people do to you? What do they do to you? Yeah, I get it. Okay, you disagree with what their life is, gotcha. But dang, my guy, you ain't have to go. And then I don't know about the knives. I don't know about the knife incident. I think that's a separate matter that happened in Paris or whatever and all that. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, we gotta talk about this guy. This guy, 21-year-old, gone. Life gone. Just a baby, kid, gone. Gone. Because you wanted to fit in. You was a loser. You was a square. He wasn't a square. He was a loser because squares are different. Okay, squares are different. You should have been a square. Listen, square life is winning over here. We are winning over here. We are winning over here. I'm not finna give up my life for an organization that don't care about me. You crazy? You crazy? Nah. Nope. Nah. Life is a gift, man. Life is a gift. Life is a gift. You think I'm just going to indiscriminately give up my life just for a selfish cause? Which again, consider crimes against humanity, because this is what it is, a crimes against humanity. Ain't no coming back. You can't come back from this. Mr. Ballout is out. He is out. He is out. He is out of here. So I got my two questions, right? All right. He could have been suffering with his sexuality. He could have been battling with his sexuality, and he couldn't take it. That was probably the thing that's probably what took him over the edge. He probably just said, you know what? You know what I'm saying? Listen, do your thing, big dog. Listen, just keep that over there. Two questions, right? And this is from a security standpoint, right? This is the event itself. It says, question is, was this a perimeter security failure or a gap in crowd control procedure? They seem like he was already on the radar. I guess that, a lot of times with this stuff, when it happens, shout out to the Germany government, and they acted as promptly as fast as they can. They in a 24-hour window, they minimize the damage. They minimize the collateral or whatnot. Because the damage had been already done, but the best thing to do is try to mitigate it and try to quell it, thwart it as much as possible. So shout out to those guys out there, the men and women out there, fighting bad guys and terrorism out there as well. So a lot of times when this stuff happens, I think about the incident that happened in New Year's, or the incident that happened in New Orleans, where the guy took the F-150 Lightning and got out. I think he ran over some people and got out, and I think he opened fire on people, and I think he either took his own life, whatever the case may be. I think his truck had explosive in it. I think his truck had some explosives in it. So a lot of times, they don't even really, the thing, if it was supposed to be maximum damage, I'm not encouraging it. I'm just saying, like, you come to find out, well, he had like 6 pounds of explosive in the trunk and all that stuff like that. I'm like, well, dang, dude, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? But it's hard because it's really hard to predict. I'm not saying they didn't have security, but security ain't gonna be as tight as it probably be if it's a World Cup event. Just keeping the buck. It ain't gonna be as tight if it's like if they got if the NFL is hosting a game over there. It's not gonna be as tight, or if the prime minister is moving through there, it ain't gonna be as tight as that. So that a lot of times the perimeter is not gonna be fortified as much as So a lot of times those events, even if it was a marathon, think of it like a marathon. You'll have security, but it'll be light. You know what I'm saying? And it's not gonna be like heavily fortified unless you got foreign dignitaries that's coming in and for the weekend. So I don't, it's hard. It's a soft target. That's the thing about it. It would be considered what you call a soft target. The emergency response, it says that local traffic barriers meet safety standards for high capacity events. Well, no, a lot of them things have like the little gate things and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Because one way or another, the thing about it is they are going to try to find, sometimes these people, a lot of times people out the area, right? They find the weak spots and then they go from there, right? There may have been some construction, there might have been some concrete barrier, but there's probably spots that were no concrete barrier, and that's where it was able to do their thing. You know what I'm saying? So can't put concrete barrier everywhere. So, but yeah, again, prayers up to the people out there during this difficult time, and may God be with them. And through this difficult time. Yeah, man, sucks. You know what I'm saying? Sucks. But moving on, we got some more stuff. We got some more stuff happening with this David case. Okay, apparently somebody got pregnant. Apparently this whack job David got somebody pregnant. He got the chick pregnant. Let's figure it out.
Preliminary hearing in singer David's murder case is nearing an end.
Prosecutors have been revealing graphic new evidence in the killing of 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez. KTLA's Kareen Winter is live at the courthouse in downtown LA with an update. Hi, Kareen.
Hi there, and yes, today we heard from an LAPD detective who reviewed dozens of explicit photos that were retrieved from David's cell phone. Photos that detective said, showed explicit photos of the couple having sex, engaged in sexual intercourse. But it wasn't just that. That detective also alluded to text messages between the two of them, David and Celeste, that talked about a pregnancy, an abortion when Celeste was about 13 years old. The couple even discussed moving in together. Here's more on today's proceedings. Horrific details that shocked this veteran LAPD detective.
This is not a movie we're watching. This is not something that we're just another case, another number. This is a real life experience that Celeste went through.
Moses Castillo, who's now retired from the department and works as a private investigator, is not tied to this high-profile case, but he did sit in on today's graphic testimony by LA County Medical Examiner Dr. Grant Ho. Dr. Ho detailed Celeste Rivas Hernandez's cause and manner of death. Defendant, singer David, whose real name is David Anthony Burke, looked on as Dr. Ho discussed the teen's dismembered and
Let me go back. Why look like he's picking his nose? Why like he digging in his nose? I ain't digging in my nose. I'm just. Why is he like he? What are you doing? What is he doing? Oh my god! Oh my god! These eclectic individuals, man. These weirdos,
as
man.
Dr. Ho discussed the teen's dismembered and severely decomposed body. He said she had been dead for weeks, possibly months.
One of the things that was shocking to me, that was brand new, there was an injury that he was trying to describe to the prosecutor, and he said he couldn't say for sure what caused that injury to her part of the body, but it said it could have been a gunshot.
Dr. Ho testified that there were tiny blue fragments of material, specifically around the dismembered areas, that the prosecution has tried to link to fragments that possibly came off from a plastic inflatable pool found in David's garage. Dr. Ho said the weapon or tool used to cut the body may have been some type of power saw.
The penetration of one of these stabbings went as far as 2 inches in length and 1.5 inches in depth. That tells me that it was a very powerful movement towards that body, and it was from front to back.
The defense, during its cross-examination of Dr. Ho, worked to cast doubt on the medical examiner's testimony regarding their defendant's possible involvement. The defense questioned the autopsy process and its findings, saying it should not be considered conclusive given Hernandez's extreme state of decomposition. David's attorney also said Dr. Ho worked alongside a trainee with little experience and suggested Dr. Ho couldn't rule out the possibility Hernandez may have been holding an instrument that caused some of the deep penetrating wounds and internal injuries to her chest and stomach. That detective also testified that David and Celeste met back in 2022 when she was just 11 years old. These proceedings continued on Monday.
Oh man, first of all, shout out to the LA reporter. This is a serious story, but you know, I have a thing. Listen, when the news reporters are on point, when the female news reporters on point or the correspondents on point, listen, gotta give some love. Gotta get, you know what I'm saying? Our eyes work, they ain't broken. We see y'all. We see y'all. All right, listen. This is like, I don't know. Between the last guy I just talked about, he was 21. David, he's 21. What is up with y'all just throwing y'all lives away like this? Or potentially throwing y'all lives away, doing stuff that ain't got no business doing. You got this girl pregnant. That's what they said, right? Let me play this. Let me play this.
Long preliminary hearings murder case is nearing an end.
Prosecutors have been revealing graphic new evidence in the killing of 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez. KTLA's Creed Winter is live at the courthouse in downtown LA with an update.
I ain't missing anything.
Hi there, and yes, today we heard from an LAPD detective who reviewed dozens of explicit photos that were retrieved from David's cell phone. Photos that detective said, showed explicit photos of the couple having sex, engaged in sexual intercourse. But it wasn't just that. That detective also alluded to text messages between the two of them, David and Celeste, that talked about a pregnancy, an abortion when Celeste was about 13 years old.
God, I ask what it is that you want me to reveal, what it is you want me to discern to the people. My goodness. What? Like, listen, gotta protect the kids, man. This will happen if you got strong fathers, all right? Strong households, strong fathers. Ain't no way you be running off with somebody that look like this. Let's go to let's show him up, right? Homeboy is in the courtroom like he's picking boogers, right? He's picking boogers, right? And the thing about it is, trying to see, y'all loved him. Listen, he had a fan base. Look at that. Look at that. Not that. Listen. Look at that. Look at that. Black fingernail polish. What are we doing? This is feminine behavior. This is sassy behavior. Okay. Look at the hair. Look at the man. What is that? Like he got a hoodie, or that might be one. That might be a onesie. It might be like a little. What is going on, man? What is happening? Listen. Think what you trying to look like? You trying to look gangster in this picture? Trying to look thug life? Nah, bro. Nah, man. And y'all, he was over there overseas. Man, listen, over there permeating. Listen, man, he got a fucking bonnet. My man's got a bonnet on his head. He's a bonnet babe. He is a bonnet babe. He had y'all fooled. He was a bonnet babe. That's a bonnet babe. Man, listen. He trying to be listen. He went to all the listen. Now he picking his nose. That's not, we can't listen. Hold on. Listen. I'm just saying. Listen, hold on. I know we keep going back to news report. I'm sorry. Listen, this is in phases. Look at that, man. That's what I'm trying to get back to. Look at that. He ain't right, man. He's not right. Listen, man. Listen. Celeste, how? Look at that. Listen. eclectic, sassy, feminine, taking down young girls. Girl wasn't even 20. The girl was at least 21 or something like that. All right. And if that stuff went down, I still would have the same thing. I'd be like, and I mean, because you of quote unquote of at least of age, whatever, and all that, right? I don't listen. Performing in front of people, y'all singing to the words. I had admitted on my show. Because I said on when I reviewed it Friday, I said I had one song that I heard when I watched the show Invincible. And you know how you just you hit the tune and you do the Google search and you say play the hum, to hear the hum. I thought it was a nice song. But I didn't know this man was chopping up people. He was chopping up 14-year-old, 13-year-olds and getting them pregnant and painting his fingernails. I just like a lot of times, man, when I hear artists, I just like, okay, that's a nice song. I ain't gonna do no deep dive on this man. I ain't know this man was moving like this. This man was moving like a predator. He was getting a check. He was getting tens of millions of dollars. Okay. Somebody should have questioned it when he got a fucking bonnet on his head. He trying to be a baddie. No, he's a maddie. Man, bonnet, maddie babe. Like, man, what you got a fucking bonnet on your head? What the fuck? You got, listen, your nail polish, a black. And it's like, look how you holding the phone. Dog, look how dog holding the phone. Look how you holding the phone. The only people I see holding the phone like that is females, man. Females. They're the only the chicks that be. They do that. They do that. I see how I hold my phone. This is how I hold my phone like a man. Okay. I can't even. It's so weird. I can't do it. I can't do it. Look at that. Hey, look at it. Yeah, we need to find an interview how this man talk. You be like, yeah, I look sexy. Oh my God. Oh my God. That's why they want to attack masculinity, missing brain back masculinity. Listen, comprehensive, be a comprehensive man. You know what I'm saying? Champion being a comprehensive man with some masculinity. The women still love it, man. Listen, go chase, get God, get rich, man. Jesus, man. Listen, I'm not saying for posturing purposes. Hold on, put me back on the screen. I'm not saying it for posturing purposes, okay? At all. I'm saying really be like David. Get locked in the cave of Adela with your mighty men and mighty warriors and cry out to the Lord. Okay. You on the run like a fugitive, right? Because my man, listen, even in the Bible, my man, listen, his eyes work. He ain't broke. My man David. I mean, it's funny. We can't listen. I don't want to listen. King David. This ain't no king. Peasant David. This is sassy David. Okay. It's so much so. You ain't listen. Nah, man. Because David was a Hebrew. He was dark skinned according to what was in the word, whatever, and all that. He ain't him. He ain't on that man's level. He ain't got a city named after him. This is what y'all women listen. This is what y'all women be loving. This is what y'all be loving on. He's in tune with his feminine side. Nah. Women I know, they respond to a comprehensive masculine man. They can say what they want to say. They can listen, especially one who's committing himself, submit himself to the Lord for himself, okay, not for everybody else, right? And he's taking care of his business and he's figuring it out. He's suffering, he's going through his afflictions, he's up, he's down. Listen, he documenting the journey. Listen, but he ain't doing, I ain't out here doing stuff like this. Hell no, man. Listen, I love the woman. I love the ladies. I can't listen, man. Listen, I listen. I love my freedom. I love God. I love freedom. I love getting to money, whatever. And I love trying to figure out life, whatever, and all that. Listen, women that are of age, okay, of age, they soft, they smell good. Again, they might be, they normal weird, okay. They got a little couple rough edges around. You gotta prune it out. Like that's what they saying about prune it out a little bit. Man, I can't listen. This is what y'all listen. And somebody was going crazy because look at that, man. Y'all, he was over there in what that look like, was that Tokyo? Listen, come on, man. Come on. Come on. They was eating it up. Okay. Man, my goodness. My goodness. Y'all better stop, man. Listen, because two questions from an institutional oversight standpoint. The law enforcement or social services missed prior red flags during the previous missing persons checks. Like I said, this is my first time really tackling this case. You know, you gotta holler at the parents. First of all, just start with the parents. And maybe they probably didn't. I need a timeline. Let's see if we can find a timeline on this, right? Because I remember she was discovered in 2025. I know there was a discovery in 2025, right? I don't know if she was on tour or whatever and all that, but man, I don't know. I'll make a note of it, man. I'll make a note of it. I don't know, man. They more than likely not more than likely. And again, this is just my raw opinion, whatnot, based off what all this has been going on. Somebody missed it. Clearly somebody dropped the ball somewhere. Now I know when they found the body, I know the Tesla and all, they found the body in the Tesla, whatnot, and all that stuff like that. I know they kind of had to control the investigation. You know, they couldn't say anything because it was ongoing. I know they waited later to finally come out and charge him. They had enough evidence to potentially charge him. Yeah, man, this is a failure. I'm not saying just on law enforcement. I think social services. I think the parents. I mean, first of all, the parents. Where are the parents? Where are those punk ass parents at? Now, you might say, well, Chaz, they're going through a tough time. They're grieving. Again, prayers up again, but it doesn't absolve them for allowing a child to run off with somebody that I don't know how they met. You just let your child run off with a stranger? You crazy? Listen, I said it before on this channel. I think in one of my videos, one of my shows, I say it's a dangerous world with dangerous people doing dangerous things. You have to stay dangerous. Okay? You gotta stay dangerous. Okay. Listen, stay dangerous, okay? Because like they say, stay frosty. All right. Her brain is not developed. She was a child. She was a child. Okay. She wasn't all the way there. Second question. This is an accountability question. Where did the breakdown in child protection occur before the case? Listen, the parents. That's where the breakdown went at. The parents. Let's see. David timeline. Okay, so here's a quick timeline. What I could say. So below, I'm doing a search. It says below is let me share my screen with you all so y'all know. So I won't just be rambling off here. This is batshit crazy. Jesus, man. All right, so here's the timeline. The start of 2022. First meeting, 2022. January 2022, prosecutors say Celeste Rivas Hernandez, then 11, first met David. 2023, relationship begins. November 2023, at 18, David allegedly begins a sexual relationship with Celeste, then 13. 2024 missing persons report. February 17th, 2024. Celeste reportedly missing. Riverside County Sheriff's Department contacts David after finding his number in her phone records. February 19th, 2024, she returns home 2 days later. April 5th, 2024, Celeste reportedly missing again, last seen with David. She knew what she was doing, man. God dang it, man. Just rebellious, man. 2025, escalation and alleged murder. April 22nd, 2025, prosecutors allege Celeste threatened to expose their relationship, saying it would end his career and destroy his life. Well, homie, bro, you should have knew that when you was all up in it. April 2023, 2025, prosecutors said Celeste traveled to David's Hollywood residence via an Uber he arranged. She sent her final message before being allegedly killed. April 23rd, 2025, prosecutors allege David fatally stabbed her upon arrival. Then this is when we talk about the remains. The remains of it was discovered in September 8th, 2025. LAPD finds Celeste decomposed, dismembered remains in David's impounded Tesla in the Hollywood toll lot. September 17th, 2025, remains identified as Celeste Rivas Hernandez. And then he goes on to say, in November 2026, 2025, reports emerged that David is a subject of a criminal probe. Mid-November 2025, he's named as a possible suspect. And you go from there. Then April 20th of this year, David arraigned on charges of first-degree murder and continuous sexual abuse of a child under 14 and unlawful mutilation of human remains. And July 27th, here we are. So the next court appearance for this nut job is August 10th, which is a Monday, 2026. He's pleaded not guilty to all charges. Yeah, man, listen, bro. You couldn't get no regular girlfriend, bro. You couldn't get nobody that was your age. Maybe somebody, maybe a couple, okay, he was 18. Maybe somebody that was 20, 21. You couldn't find nobody for you. Who taught you this? Because this is a learned behavior. This is a learned behavior. Because I already showed y'all the pictures. Listen, I showed y'all what this man looking like. He's in court picking his nose, right? He wearing a bonnet, right? Now we ain't gonna listen. He trying to look like a thug in this picture, right? You ain't fooling me. You ain't fooling me. You ain't fooling us. You stabbed the girl, right? Y'all gotta watch out for these. Listen, people just be too. It's one thing to be a little weird, right? But you people be too way out there, be too eclectic. Be talking about I'm misunderstood. No, nigga, you need Jesus. Okay. You need Jesus. You need Jesus, man. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you, man? What's wrong with you, bro? What's wrong with you? Now, if it was 15 or 17 to 18, I'm not saying that somebody should deserve to lose their life and in this at all. No, I mean, you should still question whoever's going with, if there was a man present, if there was a man, a strong masculine man, was like, hey man, what's your intent with my daughter? Take it back. Go outside. You know what I'm saying? Dad might pop a cigar or whatever. He might be like, you smoke? I figured that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Crack a beer open or something. You know what I mean? Like, hey, so what you intended to do with my daughter? What's your intentions? You better not be on under that weird, because by that point, as a father, we've seen enough. And he probably wasn't, father, if the father was more likely not, father be in law enforcement. Right? Kind of reminds me of the show Snowfall when Franklin, the girl, you know what I'm saying, and then eventually the daughter of the officer, they eventually took him out, whatever, and all that. And, she got in with Franklin or whatever and all that. Franklin turned out. Now there wasn't no none of this going on. Yeah, man. It's over, man. Listen. You could have had any box in the world, right? You decide to go get this box. Now you might say the girl, listen, same thing for Celeste. Celeste should mess around as well. Mess around with somebody's that's older than you. Absolutely. But it's bad. It was bad on her side. And even nobody was there. The parentals was there to protect her from himself. And nobody in David's camp was just looking like, hey man, hey bro, what are you doing? Like nobody. They probably was all drugged up, coked up. Because nowadays all these people are all drugged up, man. They all coked up and shit, man. Be talking about I'm misunderstood. No, you ain't no misunderstood. Oh man. Talking about I got anxiety. Yeah, okay. You got anxiety. All right. Okay. Women be saying stuff like that too. I just got anxiety, and I just be doing. You just piggybacking what somebody else told you. What somebody else said. You find your own brain, find your own mind. Listen, be the leader, not the follower. And nobody in David's camp was just looking like, "Hey man, red flag, bro. You need to be careful with that, bro. You still messing with that?" Because even the girl was old enough. She was like, "Yo, you," and it might be so. Like he was like, "No, it's gonna destroy my life and my career." But you kept, but again, she kept going. Listen, kept going. Everybody kept going around in the circles, whatever. Not, I don't know. So I guess maybe Celeste was starting to give her life over to Jesus or whatnot, and probably just like, okay, I've had enough. We can't keep doing this. This was the devil. You can't be dancing with. This is what happens when you dance with the devil. You trying to negotiate with the devil. No, because the devil wear bonnets and he wear black fingernails and his hair. He got a Goku looking like hairdo. And he look like he wears silky lingerie. He holds the phone like a damn female. I've seen females hold, only people that hold their phones like that is females. It's females. No girl, no man ain't holding their phone like that at all. We either got a little stick or something that we doing or whatever and all that, man. We ain't doing that. We say we're doing it. No, dude. What are you doing? All right, man. Listen, I'm done with this. Okay, y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments about this. This is I went on. I've ranted long enough about this. You all let me know what y'all think about this. What are y'all thoughts and feelings and opinions on this? Okay, this is sick. All right, we gonna move on to the LA mayor. She's blaming Trump. They always blaming Trump. Y'all too grown and old to be blaming Trump for y'all misfortunes and woes. But we gonna go over to Los Angeles and see what Karen Bass talking about.
Homeless living on the streets of Los Angeles is going up for the first time in 2 years following a decline. And the new
First of all, it's the difference between homeless and encampments, but we're gonna get to
data
it.
may very well impact the race for LA mayor. News 18 correspondent Courtney Friel, she joins us live from Skid Row in downtown Los Angeles with the trends we are tracking right now. Courtney.
Hi, Kelly. The overall increase may look small on paper, but the view from the
Shout out to
sidewalk
Courtney.
is much harder to shrug off, especially here on Skid Row, where it always looks like nothing is being done. This annual count found more than 45,000 people experiencing homelessness in the city of Los Angeles, which is up 3.4% from last year. Countywide, the number rose 1.2% to about 73,000 unhoused. But the most alarming number may be the one showing who is still outside. Unsheltered homelessness in the city, meaning people sleeping outdoors or in vehicles, jumped 7.9%. That means more than 2,100 additional people were counted living outside, and it ends 2 straight years, as you mentioned, of declines that city leaders had pointed to as proof Los Angeles was finally turning a corner. LA Mayor Karen Bass blames federal and state funding cuts along with higher costs that are pushing more families to the edge. The county agency LASA says a bottleneck in time-limited rental subsidies also slowed the move from temporary shelter into permanent housing.
We have dealt with unbelievable uncertainty from the federal government. Our money was cut half, 50% by Sacramento, the changes that are taking place in the county. But what I disagree with is that people should stay on the street until we get housing built.
Homelessness has been at the center of Mayor Bass's first term. The latest poll out by UC Berkeley and the LA Times shows Councilwoman Nithya Raman 32% to 28%, which is still within the poll's margin of error, Kelly.
Right. And so, Courtney, what are the implications then essentially for Karen Bass's reelection campaign?
Well, it takes what was supposed to be her strongest argument and turns it into her biggest vulnerability. Bass had been campaigning on 2 consecutive years of declines, arguing that her efforts to move people off the streets were working. And now she has to explain why the number is moving in the wrong direction just months before the November 3rd runoff. Rahman already seizing on the results.
The council can pass legislation, the council can move motions forward, but it is the mayor that has charge of implementation and outcomes.
Rahman says City Hall has spent hundreds of millions of dollars without creating enough permanent housing or lasting accountability. She's also pointing to a reported 49% drop in street homelessness inside her own council district, while the citywide number rose nearly 8%. This count is a one-night estimate, not a perfect census. LASA also says the city and county increases are not large enough to be considered statistically significant, but as we know, campaigns are typically won on whether voters believe their city looks and feels better. So the next fight will be over money and whether LA can restart those stalled housing placements before another year of progress slips away. And politically, both Bass and Rahman now have to convince voters that they can do more than just move the numbers and instead move more people into homes. Kelly.
Right, shaping up to be an interesting race. All right, Courtney Friel reporting live in downtown LA. Courtney, thank you.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our News Nation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.
All right, so I asked a question why this video was going on, because you know they like to blame Trump. They like the federal funding. Then you know it's about this Sacramento. First of all, it lost. And I think we talked the budget. We're gonna pull it up, right? So I'm gonna tell you how long. So I asked the question. I said, how long Los Angeles been dealing with homelessness? Listen, there's a difference between homelessness and encampments. Listen, Los Angeles have an encampment metropolis. All they need is some of the basic services, right? They need a waterworks department, they need a fire department, they need a police, they need a mayor, they need a city hall, they need a city council. And they're gonna have their own. Then at that point, they'll be their own voting block. Then they're gonna be their own tax base. They're gonna have to create a tax base and whatnot. Because clearly, like we have homelessness here, but we don't have many encampments. They have encampments. That's a whole different story, right? It's a difference. I said, so how long has LA been dealing with homelessness, right? Listen, Los Angeles has been dealing with homelessness over a century with organized city, county coordination beginning in 1993. I was 3 years old. But the problem roots trace back to the Great Depression and earlier. Okay, I'm not gonna read all that. This is a lot. But in summary, because I read about them another day, right? Listen, now recent trends, it says in the 21st century, homelessness has fluctuated with economic conditions, policy changes, of course, and crises like COVID-19. Okay, Los Angeles housing, it was an HSA 2025 shows a 4% countywide decline in total homelessness and a 9.5 drop in unsheltered homelessness compared to 2024. These recent changes reflect targeted outreach and homeless initiatives, but the underlying issue remains a long-standing challenge. Now, this does take me to something from the Bible that Jesus told his disciples. He said, listen, you may not always have me, but you will always have the poor. So we're not gonna like get rid of it. You know what I mean? Like, you're not gonna just totally eradicate it. You know what I mean? You know, but in summary, Los Angeles has been dealing with homelessness for more than 80 years with formal. I did say that, but okay, all right, I did. It's basically just saying the same thing. So for 80 years, right? 80 years. I've been dealing with homelessness for 8 years. Let that sink in for a second. Okay, everybody's been dealing with homelessness. I'm just saying. So the fact they want to blame the federal government and the state government and whatnot. And let's take a look at Los Angeles budget, because Los Angeles is facing a budget deficit, right? They're facing a budget crisis over there, right? They are broke. Budget, let's say, budget deficit. Listen, Los Angeles, the current situation and causes, right? Listen, Los Angeles is facing a nearly $1 billion B's on the table, driven by overspending surging civil lawsuit payouts, lower than expected revenues, and rising payroll costs. But the city has since closed the gap through budget maneuvers and labor agreements. Okay. All right. Listen. In April of this year, Mayor Karen Bass proposed over 1,600 layoffs to balance the budget, citing shortfall almost $1 billion. This figure was later reduced to 600. So they say, you know what? No, 1,600. No, we can let's try to save 1,000 jobs. Okay. After negotiations with union. Now, that doesn't mean that layoffs doesn't mean that they're not hiring, right? There might be a lot of times it's just, again, that's just trimming the fat, right? They're too top heavy, right? In September of 2025, the city announced that the deficit was closed through budget adjustments, voluntary unpaid days, and transferred to perpetuity departments like the Port of Los Angeles and LAWP. Ooh. All right. So now you remember the fires, they had the fires that took place, right? So I mentioned the skyrocket lawsuits. The payouts for those lawsuits range from 91 million in fiscal year 2022 to 87 million in fiscal year 2024. This over here, night audit. We gotta follow. When I talk about this stuff, right? And shout out to Anton. Listen, he teaches us to follow the money. When you look at the local government, you look how money go, how certain areas are, how certain areas are ran, and where to build up, where the money. Listen, follow where the money goes, right? With 546 million paid in 2023 and 2024 alone. Oh my God. About half of it come from LAPD suits. So everybody's suing the Los Angeles Police Department. Oh my God, they roughed me too hard. Excessive force, over alleged excessive force. No, you just need to comply. No, stop fighting the police. Okay, not all the officers are bad. Not all the officers are assholes or whatever and all that. They just trying to do their job and get home to their families, and try to do it as safe as possible. But no, y'all just feel like y'all want to pitch a fit. And then y'all get wrangled and y'all get rustled to the ground. Oh my God, I need to sue them. Oh my God, y'all, whatever, right? Overspending versus revenue. Years of optimistic revenue projections and excessive spending eroded reserves and created structural deficit. Now, mind you, that's fraud going on. We got a lot of fraud happening over there in California. And then the fire, now they say lower than expected tax revenue and rising payroll costs. Fire impacts, like I said, the 2025 wildfires reduced revenue, increased costs, compounding the shortfall. Now, listen, the recent actions, right? The labor agreements, the unions now, people got to remember, they negotiated, right? They said, listen, all right, listen, we're just going to have to do voluntary unpaid holidays, right? Overtime swaps and transfers to avoid layoffs, right? Translation, you're not gonna get a raise right now, right? You just gonna have to work. Listen, you gotta think when you work in the private sector, you get a raise every year. Sometimes you get a raise 2 years. Sometimes you get a raise twice a year, depending on if there's a promotion, like there's your merit increase, then you might get a promotion, right? And then let's just say the company, they do like a little site survey. They say, you know what? Hey, we gonna boost you up by $1. You have that may happen. So you might see, man, I'm saying you might see about 2 or 3 raises, man. Listen, right? But you gotta understand, there's a cost that's associated with that, right? You might get less the next year, right? You might get or the bonus might be less than what it is, right? These counties, these cities across these places got to run themselves like a startup. They got to run themselves like a startup, right? So the next thing is budget maneuvers. The city council and Mayor Bass use these measures to close the $1 billion budget. Ongoing challenges, despite closures in mid-year 2025, 2026, deficit of 263 million was projected, with debates over high departmental salaries and underfunded services. Here's the outlook, ladies and gentlemen. While the immediate deficit is closed, city leaders warned that structural issues, because you just kicking, all you're doing is kicking the can down the road, especially litigation costs. Because again, everybody gets nowadays, everybody's sue crazy, right? You gotta think like you suing this, you suing. Listen, you're sucking the very dollar. That's why revenue. That's why they gotta raise the taxes, whatever, and all that, because all y'all want to get. Everybody thinks they need $5 million payouts from the Los Angeles Police Department. Okay. Just keep that in mind. Stop. Listen, everybody don't need to be, you don't, maybe y'all need to ease up on suing everybody all the time, right? Just maybe sometimes you might think your client just was in the wrong that day. Different story, right? Don't worry about it. We'll get there. Eventually, litigation costs and revenue volatility remains. Without reforms, future budgets could face similar pressures. In short, Los Angeles budget deficit was caused by a mix of overspending, legal liabilities, and revenue shortfalls, but it has been closed through negotiated budget measures. The city now faces ongoing fiscal challenges and a smaller but still significant projected shortfall for 2025. Listen, let me give myself a hand clap. I'm educating myself, man. Listen, I want to know what the hell's going on, right? I need to know. Listen, I don't live over there, but again, we got people. Listen, we're trying to figure it out, right? We're trying to figure it out because again, listen, Trump, this can't be, because listen, y'all were mismanaging y'all money during the COVID crisis, okay? Not everybody did a good job. Over here in Georgia, we get revenue refund checks damn near every year over here. Shout out to Brian Kemp. Listen, I'll take that 250. Listen, man, praise Jesus, okay? Listen, the union do a good job. Yeah, I mean, to save jobs. I mean, listen, so sometimes you got to do the uncomfortable thing, right? To try to preserve jobs. I mean, you're trying to preserve as many jobs you can. That doesn't mean you're gonna save all the jobs, but you gotta try to preserve jobs what you can, right? Now there's litigation, people suing people. You gotta think those $5 million, $10 million payouts, whatever the payouts are, that also, listen, man, that hurts the people in Los Angeles, like, they don't care. They make all this money anyway. But then that's why your burger, that's why your gas is, I don't know this is true, but I'm saying that's why y'all gas is $10 per gallon. While the rest of the country, we're dealing with $4 or almost $4 worth of gas. Y'all dealing with $10 worth of gas. Rolling blackouts. The only thing y'all have over there is the weather. That's it. It's the weather. It's nothing else. It's the weather. All right. Now, I'm not saying there ain't some people that's not kicking ass and taking names and doing, living, conservative lives and doing what's well, you know what I'm saying? But dang, man, that's why people moving off and over there. It's too high. It's too expensive. It's too expensive. And they still facing the struggle. They still, listen, they stirred off the inevitable. I'm going to tell you what's going to end up happening. Listen, Los Angeles, it's probably going to take a while, but Los Angeles is going to probably have to file for bankruptcy. I know, no, people like, hold on. Hey. Like, y'all have to do a better job in managing your funds and manage your budget. Okay, listen, we can't keep everybody from going homeless, but we can try to prevent. We can let's at least try to have a 2-year period where we don't have a whole bunch of people going homeless. I like to see 5, I'll at least say 5, but we'll say 2. Doesn't mean people ain't gonna go home. People are not gonna go homeless, but they shouldn't try to stay homeless forever. Being poor and broke and struggling forever is not a flex. And if Los Angeles is too much, California is too much, man, get the hell out of there. Escape from Los Angeles. I'm gonna watch that movie one day. I'm gonna watch the movie again. Escape from Los Angeles, right? Y'all need Snake Plissken over there. That's what y'all need. Y'all need Snake Plissken. For real. No, man. Listen, my 2 questions is, it says what percentage of the municipal funding was actually deployed before the federal cuts? I think it said it here. I think the question can be answered. Oh, well, I did. I think I answered it in this. In this rant of mine. Shoot up. $1 billion? $1 billion. Okay, let's see. How much okay, hold on. I think the question is how much before we okay, because we got one more story. How much did Los Angeles spend on homeless before federal cuts? The answer to that is it was, again, like I said, it was $1 billion. So they actually, the real number, the raw number is, now it says before any federal funding reductions, Los Angeles had approved a homelessness budget of roughly of $1 billion for fiscal year 25 and 26, with 961 million in that year allocations and additional carryover funds from prior years. Budget before the cuts. According to the Los Angeles City Controller Office, fiscal year 25 and 26, homelessness budget total, which around, like I said, $961 million in current year appropriations, plus 119 million committed but not yet spent funds. So you have money that you haven't spent yet, and 473 million in unspent carryover funds from earlier years. See, y'all ain't even really spending the money. Like, you're not even, I mean, I'm not saying like you're approved of the money, but you're not spending it. You're rolling it over, which I'm not saying that's bad, but you can't be asking for additional money. It says when adjusted for additional appropriations and rollovers, the city's total available homelessness funding approach $1 billion. So this figure includes 556 million actually spent in fiscal year 2025, 2026. I love doing this segment. This was actually pretty. I like this stuff out. This is why we do the show, man. So you get this stuff. I gotta get engaged. I can't just be dozing off and just giving y'all the fluff, right? You know what I'm saying? I gotta dive in like a reporter, man, like a citizen doing my job, man. It says 119 million encumbered, which is committed but not yet spent. 573 million unspent, roughly from special funds that roll over to future years. So yeah, $1.1 billion was that they had approved before the cuts. So that there's no telling how much the federal government was pumping money. That's not including, more likely the federal government is probably giving them $2 million, probably giving them $1 million on this on top of that, right? All right, so we did a fiscal audit on that, right? Shout out to us, man. Listen, over here tonight, man, we got to get it out. But listen, we got to do our job, man. We can't be half stepping over here, especially when we talking about the money, right? We talking about the policies, we talking about the money. Second question, last question on this one is a policy tracking. They say, is the policy failure tied to reduce interagency funding or local execution flaws? I think there may be a combination of both. I think that as I covered a lot, right? As I've went to the whole nice little diatribe monologue, I think there's a combination of interagency funding, right? Because I mean, you got to try to fund the services, the departments and stuff like that, but also understanding that some of these folks they may be working a little bit more longer, but you may work holidays where you don't get paid. Now, you gotta think, for police officers, even for EMS or firefighters, you get hazard pay, but you talking about holiday pay. Woo! And you talking about some of the holidays people don't really too much care about. It'd be like, man, like indigenous people Day or Christmas Columbus Day or whatever, or President's Day or something like that. I'm just, woo, man, like they shit, that whole weekend they be. And then, I know in 2028 they're gonna have the Olympics there. So man, listen, if y'all a cop out there in Los Angeles, man, get that money. If they don't try to undercut y'all too much, get y'all money. Get into the bag, okay? Because I mean, like there's interagency funding and there's local execution flaws. It is local. It's just mismanaging funds. Because there's still ongoing issues that they're kicking down the road. right? They're still facing a shortfall, right? They closed the gap, right? But you're still facing a shortfall, right? So you get through this year, so to speak, by the hair of your chin, but you still got to worry about fiscal year 2026 and 2027, or 2027, 2028, right? Still got to, you know what I'm saying? Their budgets, they work a year ahead. So they already probably got 2026 and 2027 ready. And, you know, then they got to worry about 2027, 2028, right? So sounds like to me that they're just over there mismanaging the funds, and they want to find, they keep on talking about, keep asking, they keep running out of funds, so to speak, or just mismanaging the funds, and keep asking they keep asking the state government for funds, and they asking for the federal government for funds, and it's just like, y'all can't get the problem under control. Y'all can't even at least go 2 years without having as much homelessness or whatever, and all, at least 3 years without having a lot of homelessness or whatnot. And y'all keep having a whole bunch of budget issues, budget deficits, right? No, y'all not good at math right now. So that's why the federal government say, you know what, we'll back out of it for a little bit. Prove to us that you can manage your money effectively, where you can start giving your citizens surpluses. Los Angeles should be giving out $5,000 rebate checks. I'm just spitballing here. Maybe the state of California maybe be able to give every city. No, I know you've been talking about reparations, and that's a different conversation or whatever. That's why I can't get no reparations. That's why the blacks can't get no reparations. That's why all your reparations is going to. That's why your reparations is going to. Right? It's going to. All right, we got to move on to this last story. Right? We got to talk about Nike. So y'all here stealing $2 million shoes from Nike. Let's see what's going on.
Tonight, sneaker influencers caught up in an alleged multi-million-dollar crime ring, accused of running a years-long scam to steal valuable Nike sneakers. Authorities this week revealing a grand jury indicted 12 people, including Barakat Abraham, the co-founder and former co-owner of the trendy Los Angeles sneaker resale shop Cool Kicks.
What's up, guys? Checking in again.
And online sneaker reseller Jorge Cuellar.
What's good?
Their alleged co-conspirator Roy Harvey Jr. was also named in the indictment, accused of supplying UPS labels to Nike employees at the company's distribution warehouse in Memphis, Tennessee. Prosecutors allege 6 now former Nike employees, also named in the indictment, used those labels to redirect shoe shipments to predetermined locations where they say the defendants would retrieve and then resell the stolen product. The stolen shoes, according to the indictment, were worth $2 million. Nike did not respond to an NBC News request for comment. Cool Kicks, with a Melrose Avenue store and an online presence, popular with celebrities and athletes for its highly sought-after sneakers sold on the secondary market.
Why is this such a popular, famous place?
Yeah, so it's big on social media. They're going to have older product, newer stuff, and a mix of everything in between.
Eddie Wynn runs a sneaker-focused YouTube channel.
People are always wondering about sneaker resellers anyway, how they're getting their product, how much they're selling it for. That type of thing is already being discussed.
Cool Kicks posting today that they have terminated Mr. Abraham's relationship with the company, also noting that the indictment contains no...
There's a Cool Kicks in Boston. And I think is in the I want to say which mall it is. I think it's the Copland Square Mall or Prudential. I think it's in the Prudential building, or no, I'm sorry. I think it was Copley Square. I think it was.
Of wrongdoing by Cool Kicks. NBC News reached out to Abraham, Cuellar, and Harvey and did not hear back.
And Valerie Castro joins us now. Valerie, this was obviously a very intricate scheme. What kind of crimes are these 3 defendants facing?
So according to the indictment, the 3 men that we mentioned in this story, they're facing 3 different felony charges: aiding and abetting, conspiracy, and interstate transportation of stolen property. And they're facing some very serious jail time. If they are convicted, they face up to 15 years in federal prison, up to $500,000 in fines, and up to 3 years of federal probation.
Wow. Valerie Castro, thank you so much for that.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app, or watch live on our YouTube channel.
It ain't worth. Listen, I don't even want to go to jail for 5 days for allegedly ripping off some sneakers, ripping off Nike. 15 years. Even if they plead down to 5 or 3, I don't want to do it. I don't want to be in federal prison. I don't want to be in Gen Pop. They said, what you up in here for, man? Hey, yo, man, we was part of this. We was part of a $2 million Nike $2 million shoe theft ring. Really? You around people that's not getting out. They facing life. They've done horrendous crimes. They've done crimes against humanity. You laying your ass up. Man, listen, bro, this is the biggest bad fun. Y'all some idiots, man. Y'all are some idiots, man. Let me do some further research and see. $2 million. Cool Kids co-founder. This was 3 days ago. Co-founder of popular Los Angeles sneaker consignment store has been named in indictment involving alleged theft ring, accused of stealing more than $2 million in Nike shoes from a Tennessee warehouse. Whoa. Because Tennessee also, anybody, man, if anybody go to Nashville, they do have one of the best Nike outlets, I think, on the East, in the South, but I would say East Coast as well, because Tennessee don't have no state tax anyway, and you can really it's an emporium full of Nike gear, right? I say one of them, because a lot of when you order off the Nike website, a lot of it is coming out of that Tennessee warehouse. And I think they got one in Memphis. I think they got one in Nashville. I think the one I'm familiar with is in Tennessee, Nashville. The man, his name was it Berkey Abraham, 39, Los Angeles, co-founder of the store Cool Kids in the Months is. And the thing about it is, you're a business owner. You're a co-founder of a business that sells sneakers. Like, why? Like, why would you get caught up in alleged ring with, stealing from the companies? Again, like I said, it says is amongst 12 charged in the connection with the alleged federal prosecutions said stole from the company's main Memphis-based warehouse. So I say, I know if you go to the Opry Mills Mall, they have a nice little selection, and they probably get a lot of their stuff coming from that Memphis location anyway. That come in probably coming in from Portland or whatever and all that. But I don't gotta explain to y'all, many people. So listen, 6 now former Nike employees are amongst the dozen named in the indictment. The U.S. Attorney Office for the Western District of Tennessee said in a July 2021 news release. Oh, y'all out here just. So it says, according to Los Angeles Police Department, LAPD and federal officials in Tennessee, those involved in the theft scheme allegedly took around more than $2 million in Nike shoes from the Nike North American Logistics Center in Memphis between July 2021 and 2024. That means we could be out here wearing some stolen shoes right now. But that was mostly legally bought. Well, I would say, you know what I'm saying? Officials say they arrested Harvey in January 2024. At the time, he was charged with receiving stolen property in connection with the stolen Nike. I'm sorry, Harvey. According to federal prosecutors, those involved in the theft ring used to determine which products they wanted to sell, find them in a Nike warehouse, and then place shipping labels on the package to predetermined locations out the country. They would then allegedly go to the predetermined locations to get stolen products and resell them. The agency alleged Harvey and Abraham tried to print UPS shipping labels using equipment in a UPS account associated with Abraham and the Cool Kids business. Court documents reviewed by USA Today accused Harvey of asking Abraham to create a fake invoice for shoes to receive the cartons from UPS in September 2022, which he then allegedly did. According to the LAPD, Abraham and this other guy, Celia, received the stolen shoes and paid Harvey and other people involved more than $900,000. The shoes were then sold online through Cool Kits. Oh my God, y'all was buying. Y'all people was wearing stolen apparel. Abraham and the three guys appeared in federal court in Los Angeles in June 2023. On June 23rd of this year, convicted. If convicted, like they say, man, oh man, listen, man, you had it. Listen, man. So apparently somebody was released. Shams was released from jail on his own reconnaissance on October 3rd, according to police. His name is Adi Shams, another co-founder of Cool Kits, was arrested in 2025 at the shop's warehouse on a felony charge of receiving known stolen property over $950. The Los Angeles Police Department, or LAPD, told USA Today at the time in a statement of his own Instagram page in October. Cool Kits denied knowing that the goods were stolen. Man, basketball players might be wearing stolen merchandise. Listen, what the hell is going on, man? What is happening out there? Yeah, they're stealing. Yeah. That's one thing about I haven't bought. Well, the last pair of shoes I bought, it was Nike and some gym shoes. I'm more inclined to buy directly from Nike. Now I might buy from like a reputable like Foot Locker. I know they gotta kind of go through the same thing, but people got business relationships and deals and stuff like that. But a lot of times with a lot of those stores, I bought from StockX, I bought from Champs, I bought from Foot Locker, and I even bought a pair from Cool Kids. I bought some shoes from Cool Kids. No, I ain't bought a shirt. I think it was a shirt. I bought a shirt from Cool Kids. But they do shit. Because they got, why? If you already got motion, because according to what I read, it was big. They was pretty popular amongst sneakerheads and celebrities. The company often shares videos of celebs shopping at the store, including Los Angeles Lakers shooting guard Austin Reed and streamer and influencer IShowSpeed and streamer Kai Cenat and dozens of others. So you had good motion, you had good publicity. Now Kai Cenat and IShowSpeed and Austin Reeves, they might be now they might be dealing with stolen merchandise. They might need to take it back, right? Go ahead and don't donate them and whatnot, but not good. I know it's been alleged they got a right to defend themselves as well, but come on, man, some shoes. What y'all fell on some hard times? Y'all fell on what? Y'all when your sales wasn't selling like that? What y'all figure? Hey man, you know what? You gotta be careful with that kind of stuff. Like it's one thing if you buy the shoe, right? You buy the release, and if you sell it, on the secondary market, okay, that's that. But instead of trying to create UPS accounts and invoice, because they got to ship stuff, they got to get stuff shipped to their store from the Nike warehouse. Yeah, man, it's not good. Not good. No way. We're gonna have to do two things for y'all. We have to do this, not good, and what is happening over there. All right. Well, all right, y'all. This was a hell of a show, man. Hold on. Man. Listen, we tackled crime. We talked about, crimes against humanity. We talked about the David case. We talked about the Berlin parade. We talked about the LA homeless. We had a real deep dive on that. And then, we talked about some Nike. So, listen, every now and again, man, we gotta tackle the issues. So what y'all can do for me? Let me close this out. I think we're gonna have a hell of a week. Monday was Monday. We had to get through it, right? All right. Before I close this out, make sure you hit a like button, comment, subscribe, share it with your friends and family. You rock out, drop episodes damn near every day. All right. Give y'all some clippings, right? You know, if y'all find value in this, right, trying to get better at this, again, you might catch me. You never know. You catch me in workout gear, you know what I'm saying? Hat backwards or whatnot, man. Listen, I'm going to try to deliver for y'all. Going to come through. Listen, we got to audit life before life audits it for you. If these stories ain't showed y'all that, I don't know what it is, right? But again, I love you all. I appreciate you all. I will catch you all on the next one. Peace out.